your family runs Harry Hansen's Meat,
Correct.
which is a local like meat market.
Yeah, we
You say?
local meat market, and we also process livestock. So there's not many local processors left, actually, even in southeastern Wisconsin. I want to say there's about 4 or 5 of us left.
Okay.
So we work with local farmers, and they bring in livestock, and we process them from start to finish, and also sell direct to consumer through the retail store.
Best bacon. Best bacon.
I feel like I've been spoiled. I can't even eat other bacon. I'm not gonna lie.
We had it on my birthday. One of our Christmas gifts was some beef sticks and some bacon.
There you go.
From your place, and we had it. My birthday is December 27th, so I
Okay.
usually stay in town until like then. You know, I'm here for the holidays and I go back to Chicago. And then
Okay.
so that morning we had our family over, nieces and nephews and everybody, and then we cooked up that bacon, and it was like, oh, that was good. Some of the best.
Yeah, well, and that also is different in processing too, of why it is tastes different. Of like a lot of when you buy bacon at the grocery store, a lot of that is they're trying to produce so much to feed the quantity that they're using actually like an injected smoke versus like a true smokehouse, which is what we use.
Interesting.
Yes, so there's a little bit of science or little things going on in the back end
Okay.
on that. So, but
What are some other differences between like bigger operations compared to smaller operations in the quality of the food?
yeah, so one thing that I always say is like the quality of the animal is usually the same. There's a lot of things, like a lot of farmers are not doing bad things by any means. So like even large farms, when they're selling them to larger packers, and by packers I mean meat processing facilities, there's nothing really wrong there. What we're seeing though is that those cuts of meat are being cut actually at those processing facilities and then sent to the grocery stores and things, and so they're losing that freshness to them as they're getting shipped from here to there, and they're not they're sitting in the container that then they're sold in, versus you just cut what we get in, or what we work with is large primals, they're called. So large pieces of meat, and then we cut them into the smaller parts, and it's more fresh.
Okay.
They actually, a lot of larger packers, they do wet aging. So wet aging.
What is wet aging?
Wet aging is where they cryovac large pieces of meat and then let that age within the juices that are essentially made by that cut of meat. So it's wet. Whereas what we try to do, what we do when we process livestock is we let them hang so that they in a cooler for 2 weeks, so it dry ages it. And that just breaks down the meat in a different type of way.
Do you ever go to a steakhouse and like critique the steaks?
I actually don't. I usually get chicken or pork when I go to a steakhouse. Like I don't.
Really?
I avoid getting steaks. My biggest thing is that I like how I cook steaks better. Like that's my biggest thing.
Okay.
But I'll try some of my husband's here and there, and like I'll just say like, oh yep, this was good. This they cut right. Like this was, and he gets driven nuts by it. So I'm like, all right, never mind, we're done. I think my favorite story though is like my sister. She went out to lunch with some friends of hers, and they were all sitting down. They had all their steaks, and the one friend had ordered like a T-bone or something, and ended up getting a ribeye. Like it was just the wrong cut of meat completely. And like they asked the waitress like, "Are you sure this is the right?" Like I ordered a T-bone, and they're like, "Yeah, nope, that's a T-bone." And Rochelle, my sister, was just like, "No." No, this is so wrong. Like, you got a better cut. Well, it's not necessarily better. It's just a different cut of steak. It was more expensive on the menu.
Yeah.
But, like, okay, yep.
Huh.